Hey guys, Terence here with Paul.
Hello.
At the Fugazi Reef.
At the Fugazi 425.
It's been a while since we've done this, huh?
Yeah, I don't think I came over. I don't think I've been over since I've been over once since COVID started.
Right, but
in May, March.
We've been going out to dinner.
Yeah, we mix, you know, for sure.
Definitely, but I thought this would be a good event to come back together, show people the reef, talk about some cool announcement that we have, give away a Trident.
Oh wait, I got that right here, Terence. Whoa!
We've been giving away a lot of Tridents lately. Yes, exactly. So some lucky person is going to get this, but guess what? You're going to have to wait until the very end, because we don't give away anything until the very end, and you must be present to win.
Yep.
Fully random drawing.
It's a little late on the East Coast,
yes,
so we do appreciate all you East Coasters right now, wondering what Terence and I have cooked up for
all the late nighters that are out there going, yeah, we're game for a live stream on the East Coast. Also with that Trident, we're going to give away a 6-month reagent kit. The elusive, supposedly elusive.
Don't get me started, all right? You beveraged me here, all right? You know you don't want to get me started on the 6-month reagents. Happy birthday, Ralph! Happy birthday from all of us here at Neptune Systems.
It's awesome to see all you guys rolling in here, and the tank is still living, Paul.
It is.
So
you know it's.
It goes through changes.
It goes. You know, there's just so much growth in this tank. I mean, it is the strongest survive.
Yes, definitely. I am of the belief where I don't go in and trim things up and keep things. Right next to you, there's this pink acropora, which is probably about 20 inches from front to back.
Yeah.
And it has consumed some other corals that I really do like on its journey. So at some point I'll trim it back and I'll plant something else there. But I do like to see the progression of things as they move through the tank and take other things out. And it's been like now 4 years with.
I think my personal opinion, I love the Slimer. I love how it comes over the top of everything, but it is, in terms of, it's diminishing the variety in your tank.
There is
right
a
now.
point at which it's too much. It's been a challenge for me to try to see how big I can grow this really stout blue tip green Slimer. And the regular green Slimer, I'm growing it like a bonsai out over the middle of the tank, over the space there. But it's gonna, I think its days are numbered. A lot of these corals that I'm gonna cut stuff up and do some stuff different, like I did on the other side of the tank.
Yeah.
I did have some mishaps over the last couple of months.
I've heard.
Where I just was lazy and not watching my alkalinity and had a clog in one of my lines, and I couldn't figure out why the alkalinity was dropping. And
I think with the fact of like being home all the time now, you think, oh, I'm that much more attentive to my reef and all of these things. It really necessarily doesn't do that.
I agree with
right?
you. It actually makes you more complacent.
Yes,
I won't say I'm bored of my reef and I want to get rid of my reef tank.
Oh no.
But you certainly don't appreciate it the same way as when you see it only an hour a day or something like that.
Exactly. It's that refreshing feeling you have when you walk in the door and you see it, right? And B, it's you haven't been away from it.
Right.
Right? You haven't been away from it, you haven't gotten out, and it's just part of what's happening.
The change creeps
right
up on you with this too, because when you go away on vacation, sometimes you go 2 weeks away from vacation, you can see like huge changes.
I know.
When you're here every day, stuff changes and you don't really notice. But we do have some questions. Mandy out there asked how many gallons are in the tank. It's a 425 gallon Reef Savvy tank. I've had it for about 4 years. I guess I'm taking it for granted that all the control freaks out there, because we've been here before, they know about the tank.
It's got just a little sump, just a little sump.
Yeah, it's got a little sump downstairs, and you can probably go and look at some of the other videos that are out there if you want to get more information, or go out to Reef and search for Gilroy 425, and you can see how I started the whole thing up and all of that.
Yeah.
But definitely have you guys here for a real reason.
Yes.
And
we have some news.
It's that time of year again. We're getting close to Black Friday.
This is true.
It's next week is the Black Friday, and Black Friday is the time of year when everybody in the past, as many years as I can remember, has had an opportunity to buy our products at a discount, which does not happen often.
Right. Historically, it's always been the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Right.
Right. Going into Thanksgiving, and then we've also allowed.
We've added over the years though, because it started out where at first we only did like Friday, and that was it, and then we did and we did Friday through Sunday, and then we added Cyber Monday, and then we added Thursday.
I mean, it's just part of how this industry's been developing, number one, too, right? This industry is getting a whole lot larger, right? And so you need to be available for more customers. And then secondly, you know, we do have discounts throughout the year, but we typically do those at big reefing shows.
Right, they're limited, they're kind of like limited exposure, limited quantity types of events, where if we're at Reefapalooza or at MACNA, we'll bring some gear. We will have one of our...
just a little.
Yeah, a little gear. And we'll have one of our partners in the booth, and they will be working with customers, helping engage customers, and we'll be selling product out of the booth as long as it lasts and for those local people. But this year, there's been 0 events.
I hadn't gotten the memo.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, this year, just I think as the way our hobby, the industry has been developing, I think we have a lot of new people in the hobby. Number one,
it's been crazy this year. This year is, as everybody knows, 2020 has just been nuts. Things that you don't expect happen. When we had the outbreak earlier this year, we had no idea what would happen for business. And the intuition for most people in the industry has been, or was at the time, like, oh my gosh, hang on for a ride. This is going to be crushing to us. And in fact, it's been the exact opposite. And which is, I mean, in retrospect, it makes total sense, right? People are home more, they want to be with their tanks, they got a little extra spending money, you know, all of these things. And so the growth in the control freak world has been very strong.
Yes, we have. We've gotten a lot of new blood into our control freak family.
Well, we have an online user group on Facebook, right? We also have the forums as well. But as most people know, things are kind of migrating away from the forums for, you know, the average folk, so to speak, and going into Facebook. And so we have a Facebook group out there that now has about 9,300 members in it. And it's crazy
legit
busy.
Members, number one. So one of the rules for the Neptune Systems Facebook group, if you are not part of the Facebook group and you are watching this video right now, either on replay or anything else, I strongly recommend you. It's the official Neptune Systems Facebook community. And one of the requirements on that is you have to have a real name, right?
Yeah, it's one of the things that it helps keep everybody honest, right, in the discussion. So you get less of the trolls and people like that come in, and it's actually part of Facebook's rules that you have to be a real name and a real person anyway. And so we've kind of enforced that out there to keep it real, to try to keep it as much as we can, people helping people. And what's crazy lately with the Facebook group is how many people have been joining lately.
I mean, like, I think both you and I are mostly the main approvers, right? And generally right now, I think twice a day we're approving 25, 35 people at a time. Yeah. At the very least.
At least. Sometimes multiple times a day. A couple of questions on the tank. Just want to make sure I answer them. So number one, I've had the tank about 5 years now. It's had livestock in it about 4 years. Yep.
Yeah,
right? Isn't that about right?
I'm thinking,
And fragging session, I mean, sometime or another, you know.
It's a regular thing here, you know, and he recruits people to come over, and he tries to give us coral, but frankly, all of our tanks are growing so well. Trident is a big part of that. We're all out of real estate at this point, which means we're all due for new and bigger tanks.
Or you just do like I'm going to do, which is I'm going to hack some stuff out, or stuff dies, like my one big pearlberry colony did die in that mishap I had.
I'm regrowing that for you right now.
Well, it's okay. I've got about an 8-inch colony on the other side. That was my backup colony. But you know, anyway, I mean, it's the group of people that we have, the control freak group, is just, it's enormous as far as the people that are out there.
It's a huge community.
So anyway, the discounting that we did has traditionally been on Black Friday. This year is a different year, and we realized that everybody's buying patterns, everybody's capability to go out and enjoy a Black Friday, you know, not just cyber-wise, which is easy, but to go to local fish stores. We can't have everybody going to the local fish store on one day or even 2 days or what have you.
Wouldn't be prudent.
Wouldn't be prudent. It wouldn't be, Dana. But so this year we renamed Black Friday, and it's now Orange and Gray Days. So
Orange and Gray Days.
And Orange and Gray Days start in...
Tell me about them.
Well, first of all, they start in about 9 minutes.
9 minutes and 20 seconds,
yes,
to be exact.
Yeah, so in 9 minutes, we will begin the Orange and Gray Days sales days.
Tell me more about what that means, Terence.
What it first and foremost means is that you're going to get 10% off every single Neptune product at participating dealers.
So any dealer that wants to participate will be able to sell Neptune Systems products at 10% off of retail, 100% across the board.
That is correct.
So that means a Trident is 10% off?
A Trident is 10% off. Trident reagents are 10% off.
Trident reagent, is the 6-month reagent 10% off?
The 6-month reagent is available, and we have been shipping out mass amounts to local fish stores.
You guys have no idea.
So if you go to a local fish store tomorrow and you don't see, and I'm talking about a serious Neptune Systems dealer here,
yes.
right? We're not talking about the guy who's selling fish and birds and
he
reptiles
says,
and
oh,
cats,
I can get that
and
for
I can
you.
get that for you. We're talking about people who traditionally have orange and gray on the wall. They will have stacks of them tomorrow, I would think, available that you can get 6-month kits.
Dennis from FJW Aquarium is a great example of one that would definitely have 6-month reagents right now as we speak. And
that's down in Houston, right?
Yes, Houston, Texas, and in 8 minutes and 15 seconds, you can buy it from Rod.
You can ring him up and see if it'll come down to the store.
You can buy it from Dennis at $90.
Yes, because this goes by Eastern time, so even though in Texas it'll be, I don't know, they're on Central time.
Central time, so it'll be 11 p.m.
You can get
Central.
in ahead of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Dennis, I hope the store's open.
Yeah, no
They're
kidding.
coming.
No kidding. So I mean, it's a great deal. I know when you start seeing things out there that are 30 and 40% off of other types of products, it may seem like it's not that much, but for a product that is a premium product that never goes on sale.
Yes.
Getting that sale is a big deal. Now, one of the things I want to mention is, what does this really mean? There's been a lot of weird talk out there, and people, there's still a number of people who believe buying an Apex is expensive, that it's out of reach for most hobbyists.
I think it's by far, I read a lot of feedback from our customers, and it's by far one of the top 3 themes, right? In terms of when people are commenting about the brand and things like that. And, and I do think it's a misconception, especially when you have opportunities like this. Right,
and that means that the Apex EL, which the Apex EL comes with your Apex, it comes with your pH probe, your temperature probe, and the 8-outlet Energy Bar 832, normally for $500, which in itself is a great deal in my opinion, is $450 during Orange and Gray Days.
$450 for an Apex L.
Right.
And I'm just going to repeat everything you just said, so you know that. It's temperature, pH, 8 outlets of control, and those 8 outlets are power monitored that you can actually do something with. I think we'll talk about that probably a little bit later. It's very powerful. Yes. The only product in the market that offers that. Yeah, really, and it's really, I mean, the funny thing is a lot of people aren't using power monitoring, Paul, because I believe it just sounds like something, and everybody calls power monitoring. If there's another product, they say, oh, we have power monitoring. But what it really is it's device protection on your system. So it's knowing when each and every device on your system fails. That happens because of power monitoring. So when you hear power monitoring, you don't necessarily connect those two things together. And it sounds complicated also, right? It sounds like, well, how would I ever, we've gone through it many times.
There's no programming.
There's no programming. I don't know.
Despite
this concept of lines of code that you have to put in, and,
I know.
Scratching your head and asking somebody else, just click on the task button, okay? I should probably gesticulate my arms a little bit too, right? But just go to the tasks, go to power monitoring.
Right.
Done.
Yeah, so $450, and the thing is that I'm not trying to say that $450 isn't a lot of money for some people, because it absolutely is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But again, I want to compare it to kind of other, I look at it as not anymore with all the feature set that is in there for protecting your reef. I don't any longer look at it as an accessory or an add-on. I look at it as like your sump or your lighting or anything else, and you're going to pay $350 for a sump. An XR15 light, right? It's just a puck of LEDs.
One puck of LEDs.
It's $400, right?
To cover not even really 20 by 20.
Right.
You know?
And it's $400, right? So I have a hard time understanding the value thing on that with what you get in the Apex EL package, and I kind of I'll continue to blame myself for it because it's my job to get that message out there and get it to resonate. at what a deal it really is. Obviously, also on orange and gray days, the $800 Apex, which gives you, a number of extra things, is now $720.
Adds ORP.
Yep.
It
Salinity.
adds salinity.
Yes.
It adds dimming control.
Yes.
Right. So for all the Apex ready products out there,
pumps,
you can plug them
lights.
in. Booyah.
Absolutely. And all of these features too, I just want to give a plug out there to Reef Automation, who's done a really good job, Derek, of doing tutorials and helping educate people. We also have, what's the SunPower Reef or Sun Reef? What's his name? John Halsey?
Suncrest Reef.
Is it John
Halsey on Reef to Reef.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a huge promoter of the
brand. Big shout out to him.
And he does it because he wants to. Right. He does it because he believes that he can take the product and even make it better, and he does a lot so with his guides. And speaking of Derek, right, he unpacks so much, right? Because I don't like to get into what so and so is doing, because I'm going to approach that from a biased perspective, right? He's doing that in a way, right, where he is able to look at everything as objectively as possible.
Absolutely, and I really give him a lot of credit for the things that he's doing out there. Did have a question a little ways back, Vincent, that I wanted to address. I think it was on ORP. Scroll back just a tiny bit. It was asked, somebody on there asked about, well, what good is ORP? I read on forums that you shouldn't chase ORP. Now, that's a two-part kind of thing, right?
Well, the whole thing. The whole thing about ORP too is I think people. Old salts, I love them, right? I love their perspective. I love that they've been in the hobby for 30, 40 years, right? Because they'll always say that whenever they preference anything. And then they'll talk about ORP because the only thing they think about ORP is ozone. Right? And so...
Either what they think about is in the old days of ozone and you're controlling ozone, or a pinpoint probe that could tell you the ORP by just sticking it in and then going and looking at it.
And there's no benefit in that.
And there's absolutely no benefit in that. So the question is there a benefit and should we chase it? And the answer to the first one is there is a benefit. It can tell you, it can be a leading indicator to issues that you're having in your reef tank once you understand kind of what normal is in your reef tank, and then you can set up the alarms for that. You can obviously control the ozone with it. There's a number of things that you can do and understand from the ORP in your tank, or kind of derive from the ORP.
And
go ahead.
And I'll unpack that a little bit more. It's kind of the balance between good and evil in your tank.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. It's your ability to break down contaminants, right? It's the potential, I should say.
It's the potential
to break down contaminants, and that in itself isn't all that valuable. But when you look at when you look at a trend of ORP over time, you can know exactly how that tank is operating. If it's always consistently just the slope of that line, so you have a top point, and you have a low point, a top point, a low point. Basically, the average is a straight line. When you start to see that average start to slope down, right, it's fine. But at a certain point, it's going to get so low, that's telling you that now the bad, i.e. the nutrients, are kind of outweighing the good, the potential.
And there could be a number of things. Your filter socks could be going dirty. You could have a lot of detritus buildup in your carbon reactor. There's a number of things that could cause that. And then there are acute events that can happen, basically.
When you start getting stray voltage into your tank, like significant stray voltage to where it is at, a little bit of stray voltage really isn't going to affect things too much. But when there's, a heater that's cracked and it is shorting out into your tank, your ORP is going to go completely wacky. Right? And if you see suddenly just a straight ORP going up out of nowhere, something likely a cleaning solution has been added into either come in contact with the aquarium, and it is just killing everything.
And you can also see other events. I mean, the fish dying thing you can't see on a small fish in a big tank.
No.
That's not.
But when you see your carpet anemone get pulled into a power head, you can see that.
Absolutely. Or a really cool thing too that you can see is if you get an alarm and you go to your tank because it really, really, really dropped your ORP. You might go to your tank and see shrimp spawning, or you might see snails spawning, or you might see corals. It's amazing. As soon as all of that goes into the tank, your ORP drops. Anyway, that's enough about ORP.
Anyways, and that is available on the Apex system, which as of
right
5,
now.
4,
there we go.
3, 2, 1. It's now available for $720.
There you go. I don't know. Is it live out on any of the sites yet?
Look. The time is now.
Okay.
All right. So whoever's there first. I know Ken at Saltwater. I know you're ready.
Yeah, Ken's got it.
Ken's ready. Saltwateraquarium.com.
Usually,
BRS is going to be ready.
Well, they load up their cache sometimes 10-15 minutes early.
So they may have already.
They may have already gone with it. So you guys can let us know in the comments if anybody is already got the stuff rolling on sale. Okay, so another thing along with this sale is obviously the Trident's on sale.
Trident.
And one of the other crazy things that always gets brought up a lot of times in these blogs and everything else, we're looking at it right now, so it is on sale out on the online sites. So one of the crazy things that keeps being brought up about the Trident, especially early on, was that it's not standalone. What good is this thing if you've got to buy an Apex?
You have to buy an Apex if you want to run this Trident.
Yeah.
Let's look at some standalone options, should we?
Yeah.
So there are options out there, and you're going to spend at least
about $800 to $1,000 to get only alkalinity.
Only alkalinity.
Right? For a standalone. And guess what? Today, you can get the Apex EL for $450.
Now, could you do that? Right? $450
right
for
now,
the Apex L.
And I know we're sounding like ShamWow right now, but it's fun.
We look forward to this, guys. Like every year, we're like.
And you can get the Trident for $550. So you're
$550.
So you're in for $1,000, and you now have monitoring, of temperature, pH, calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, power monitoring on 4 outlets, 6 switch inputs, 3 one-link connections, 2 DC-24 connections. What else did I leave out? And then expansion to everything else that you want to do.
The big thing too, is the monitoring aspect of this, right? It's not only controlling and everything like that, it's getting a notification, right? So you don't have to go back and wonder what's going on. You get a iOS notification, an Android notification, and text message, however you want to get it.
Oh, by the way, that's another thing too that's unique to the Apex. Is actual notifications, mobile notifications, not text messages, not emails that you have to configure, none of that, but actual mobile notifications, iOS notifications, Android notifications that pull up on your phone.
And we're, as Terence said, I think we are the only one that provides that solution today by just saying when you sign it, when you first install the app, you say, do I want to allow notifications? You say yes.
Yeah. That's it.
Now you're going to get alerts and notifications
you don't have
on your phone.
To configure any kind of email servers or any of that. We did have a question, I think it was from Mandy Mills, asking, are there any other deeper discounts? That's a great segue. Are there any deeper sales on Black Friday? Well, this isn't Black Friday. This is Orange and Gray Days.
Orange and Gray Days.
And to kick off Orange and Gray Days, we do have a great individual sale, and that is on the Core 20. So the Core...
Boom!
Yes, it's a boom. So this is the Core 20 pump. You guys probably have seen it. And it is a 2,000 gallon per hour pump for your aquarium, return pump. You can use it as a utility pump on a bigger aquarium if you want. DC, three-phase motor, super quiet, super silent. Runs standalone, or you can connect it to your Apex. It's normally $350, but from now through Cyber Monday, which is 11 days from now, while supplies last, because these are...
It's 10% off.
It's not 10% off.
It's not 10% off, Terence?
Nope, it's $50 off retail.
Boom.
So this is $299.95. While they last, I'm going to tell you right now that the supply on these, due to COVID and whatnot, we actually had to fly a bunch of these in.
We flew them in.
And just so we could have them for Orange and Gray Days. And the volume of them is limited, so if you're thinking about getting one of these pumps, don't wait until actual Black Friday.
This is what they call a doorbuster.
Yeah, it's a doorbuster.
Are you familiar with that terminology?
I'm familiar with that Black Friday type of terminology.
So there's a limited number of these that are available at the price, and when they're out, there won't be any more.
That's correct.
So if you've been looking at a Core 20, you've been looking for a new return pump, you don't have an Apex yet, but you're like, let's see what these Neptune guys are about and want to try something out. This is a great option because it does run standalone.
Well, Matt Leonard says that Marine Depot has it for $279. I think he's confusing that with the Core 15.
It's possible.
It's quite possible. Or it's Marine Depot who made a mistake, and if they did, jump on it.
Yeah.
Because until we get them to correct it, you could get a deal on that. So Vincent's going to check right now.
And it's standalone. It also has this idea of smart IQ,
IQ level.
IQ level, which something like that. The marketing terminology, it wasn't with me at this hour. But you set a max speed that you want it to go to, and that's the fastest it will ever go. Right? So there's no opportunity that it's going to go really fast at some point and outstrip your overflow or something like that.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. And you basically set it up so that that becomes your 100% for your tank, which is really nice even in the standalone, because at that point you can't have like a child come up and just start pushing buttons.
Nope.
And then overflow your tank, which will happen with other pumps.
Right.
If you don't have this feature and your kid comes up and starts increasing the flow.
And I mean, I understand it's got lights, it's blinky buttons, you want to push the buttons, it happens. And then to enable the feed mode, you kind of have to know what you want to do too. You have to push both buttons at the same time.
Right, hold them down.
Yep, hold them down, and what will happen then is we'll go into a feed mode. And it's not a feed mode where the pump entirely turns off. It's a feed mode where it slows down considerably to where it's just leaving water in your piping.
Yeah, you set it up so that, a lot of times when you shut off your pump altogether and then kick it back on, you get that spraying and sputtering and all the bubbles and everything, and that won't happen with the core. It'll just go down to just where the water is, just below, being able to come out of your return.
And if you want to connect that up to a Apex.
So it looks like Marine Depot has got a mistake out there right now. So we got to,
I mean, there's nothing we can do.
At this hour, there's nothing I can do, and I'm on a live stream. So I'll probably text somebody when I'm off the live stream. So if you want to eat those up, now would be the time to do it.
Of course, it can connect up to an Apex, and with an Apex, you're going to get even more information from it. Notifications, should there be any problems. If there's blockage, let you know. When it does start to cavitate, so for some reason you forgot to fill up your RO system and you don't have it on Apex, it's automatically going to shut down, so it's not going to
give you an alert if you have an Apex.
Yep.
That's the cool part, is just plug in the Aquabus. We did have a question up here, and I'm not going to let it go by because it's just too easy of a tee up there from Derek Thomas. Says, what's the most important reason to run an Apex, Terence? I'm not going to get into a long dissertation on this, but it's absolutely a philosophy of monitor over control. Okay, so everybody calls the Apex and other devices controllers. Some even name their product that. That is not the main reason to have one of these products on your reef aquarium. The number one reason, and you can go out and listen to a lot of different bloggers. You can listen to Ryan on BRS, for instance, Randy on BRS, and they will tell you the number one reason to have an Apex is to prevent you from having your tank be lost altogether, because it's going to tell you when things go wrong, and it's going to prevent you from flooding your house. It's going to all sorts of things. It's going to prevent through monitoring, not through control.
Absolutely, and it's one of the most important things to have on your aquarium. Not just because it's a product that my company sells, right? But it's because ultimately you're going to be more successful.
Knowledge is power. So knowing what's going on in the aquarium through the monitoring is absolutely the best. So anyway, back on the Core 20. So Paul is teeing up right here the plumbing option that comes with the Core 20, which is really cool. So
one of the only pumps that offers this,
There's one other that I know of for sure that offers this particular type of union. It is not common.
It's not common,
and it's certainly not in the blue and white one that you might find.
Right. Normally, what you get is you just get what you see here,
a 3/4 inch
and that's taking
fitting.
That's taking 1/4 inch plumbing and immediately reducing it down to 3/4 of an inch.
Yes. Yeah. So it goes. This is actually 1 inch. So this is 1 inch in here, and when you put the other fitting on, it goes to 3/4 inch. And some people do run 3/4 inch or 5/8, because you've got a Red Sea or what have you.
Yep.
And that's perfectly fine. But if you're running a larger tank, and you're especially if you're just thinking about running a tank and you haven't started plumbing it yet, plumb it as big as you can. Okay. And then when you use this fitting on the pump, this fitting is specially made to go on the outside. And then you don't lose any of the head pressure that you would of reducing it down, because it actually has the full opening here.
Yep.
And you could go from this is 1.25 inches. Most people say it's not a common size. If you want to go to inch, you can. If you want to go to 1.5 inches, you can size it up to 1.5 inches, and it'd be a huge benefit.
You could also go to the 2 inch and use our 2 inch flow sensor if you wanted to do that.
For sure.
This is a standard a fitting that you can get.
This size is standard 1.25 inches. This size is not. Okay,
Obviously,
so nobody can get this one easily out there. And yeah, and as far as sizing up, it is one of these things that a lot of people really don't understand. And I've had people at stores even tell me, like store owners, they've been doing it for years. They're like, why would you run 2 inch? Isn't that harder on the pump? And it's like, no, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You basically are making it have much less head pressure. Okay, we have any good questions, Vincent, still coming through?
There's one on BRS.
Okay.
Why would...
So Alan Enriquez here says, what's the orange and gray days special for a complete system? I need everything. Well, here's the deal, Al. The beauty of the Apex ecosystem is you don't have to buy it all up front. And it's kind of crazy, like when I want to tell you, yeah, get this, get this, get this, get this. No, I don't want to overwhelm customers with all the things that they could possibly do with their Apex. The most important thing out of the gate is to get monitoring on your tank. And if budget is an issue, get the Apex EL, start monitoring temperature, pH, and the key devices that you have plugged into the energy bar. You're $450 into it, and then you can make the next decision, which might be, I don't know, like leak detection kit, to detect leaks, which, keeps you in the hobby because the significant other...
Well, no one wants to see their wood floors get ruined.
Sure.
No one. I mean, it's
but it's easier. Look, I'll be slightly sexist here and say it's easier on the male in the house than it is in the female. For the most part. For the most part.
I mean, how would Larry David feel about that?
So, what do we got here? Hoping BRS might have some Apex deals for Black Friday. Well, BRS should already, and I think they are already, doing orange and gray days with us. So they have 10% off of all of the Neptune Systems gear, including the Trident, which is just $550 right now, which is ridiculous. I mean, alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. No other device on the market can do it. I'll probably have a number of people on here tell me about some other product which has been promised for the last 2 years that doesn't exist yet. We're talking about exists right now for $500.
Right, and pairs up with the Neptune Systems dose, so you can have Trident controlled dosing. So essentially, more or less, your tank is going on autopilot. Right. In terms of maintaining your alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium.
Yep, absolutely. So that's the Core 20. So that's $299.95 while they last until the end of Orange and Gray Days, which is on Cyber Monday, the 30th of November. So pick one up. Get one of those. We'll be doing live streams all through the week. I'll be giving away goodies and gear. We're going to give away one of these hats today to one of you guys. We don't do that very often.
So we got a hat. We got a Trident. And a 6-month reagent.
Yes, but I think we're going to give the 6-month reagent with the Trident.
Oh.
So they'll get like a bonus together. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, Richard Back. Look at Richard Back from Aficionado Channel, who the poor guy hasn't had anything to do this year because he usually goes to all the shows and films them and everything, the poor guy. All locked up. But yes, that's my tank back there, Richard.
I think he's doing a new tank right now.
He is. He's changing out his tank right now. Absolutely. Jerry from Reef out in Utah, a good buddy of mine out there, is out there on the stream. Thanks for joining us here. What's our count right now, Vincent, anyway?
Last I checked was 288.
Nice.
288.
Nice.
That is.
I like that.
Is fairly good.
So so we're going to give away one of these hats here. I will, I could sign it, sure. If somebody wanted me to sign the back of it, I could, or the inside of the brim, or whatever you want. But we're going to do that. Maybe a hoodie during the week. Maybe in one of my...
Neptune Systems hoodie.
Yes, I know.
I waited a whole year for mine.
Yeah, well, hey, buddy, you got to hit quota. Maybe I'll have one. So yeah, we'll have some gear to give away. We'll have some other goodies to give away. I'm going to be touching base with you guys all through Orange and Gray Days, at least a number of the days. I don't know if it'll be every day.
And so Orange and Gray Days, again, is going to run from right now through Cyber Monday.
That's correct, through the 30th, right?
Okay.
I don't know that I'm going to be doing live streams every day, but I know we do have some planned. You and I have one planned, I think, for Sunday night.
Sunday or Monday? Yeah,
I think it's Sunday night.
Yeah,
We have one planned, Paul and I, to talk about some stuff. I've got a special guest on Saturday. I'm not going to reveal who that is yet. I'll reveal that tomorrow. So that's going to be a fun one. And then we'll see who I might be able to get on actual Black Friday. I haven't tried yet, but I might get a really good guest on that day. I don't know. You guys tell me, who would you like to have? Who would you like to have on Black Friday with me talking shop about Apex gear, and I'll try to make it happen. Also, I'm going to be on Farm Boy Reef on Saturday.
Okay.
So he's invited me to talk on his channel, talk about monitoring and control of systems. Let's see here. Anything else, Vincent, we got going on out there? Not really? Okay. Look at that. I'm trying to look at the time, and I'm looking at the Dow, which is doing just fine too.
There's a pandemic out there.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So we're going to give away some stuff here in a minute, and we'll start with the hat, the beautiful hat. I don't know which one you're going to get because I'm getting 2 different types in, and I don't know, maybe if you're nice, Paul will actually let you choose, but we're going to get the, because Paul does the fulfillment on these. But we're gonna have these gray, we have these gray ones, and then we also have the heather gray one, which I like. Both of them are coming in.
You got both colors again.
They're both coming in, so don't expect it to be here tomorrow because I've got the order coming in. So if you do win, give me a week or so to get it out to you. Don't be nagging us or Paul too much. Stellar Fly SBK says have Randy on. I don't know, he's a busy guy right now because of the BRS Black Friday thing, but you know what? I think Randy owes me a couple favors. Just a few. AJ says, I really want Kurt. If you don't, you have no idea how hard I pressure Kurt to get on a live stream with me.
I think it's like literally every live stream. It's like, hey, Kurt, you want to come on this live? Sometimes you really, really lobby for it.
Yes.
And
the best I've ever been able to do live is like a wave in the background at a trade show where we caught him in the background, right?
The Reef to Reef.
Did he come on, or did he just stay in the background?
No, he came on. You heard his voice.
Yes, you heard his voice.
You got his voice on the Reef to Reef Toys for Kids drive, right?
Like
which is happening. Toys for Kids is happening.
Oh, that's true
again
too.
this year.
Let's put a plug in for that. So Reef to Reef does this awesome Dave Hammond with Reef to Reef does this awesome charity every year that they put together to give toys to young children. People that are poor and in a bad spot, right, that need to have a good Christmas. Their kids, they're doing this charity, Toys for Kids. We will probably do a special live stream for that. We raised a ton of money for that last year. I can't remember how much, over $2,000, wasn't it?
It was over $2,000, and then Kurt
doubled it or something. Yeah, it was a crazy amount. So if you guys are joining us in this, I would appreciate when we do announce that. Join us for that. We'll have some goodies to give away, swag that we'll sell, swag kits, a chance maybe to buy.
That'll be in December.
Yes,
we'll have that happen in December, yeah.
Well, you'll be able to get some of the coolest swag stuff that nobody else is able to get, right? We actually raffled off or sold off a whole bunch of gear, including one of our shirts that nobody but employees, and only even specific employees like salespeople and stuff, or trade show people, get to wear.
You ready?
Yeah, give me the name for the hat. Where are they? And then they got a comment right after I announce them in order for it to be, because you must be present to win. Mandy Mills, you came up randomly. You get one of the cool Neptune Systems hats, just like the one I'm wearing. And thank you for joining us, Mandy. Chime in here, and that way we can...
About a 15-second delay.
Yeah.
So just give it a second.
Let her chime in.
Yep.
Cody said, "Hey Vincent, why don't you pan that camera over to the rest of the tank?" Actually, I do have another camera that I just couldn't get running for this one, but maybe I'll have it tomorrow running. I've got one of these Mevo cameras. I'm trying to figure out.
We moved the studio yesterday here, and we have some other new gear, so you got a lot to manage going on here today.
Yeah, well, I got this new camera, this new live streaming camera that I'm trying out. It's called the Mevo, and you can connect it either with over NDI, getting really geeky here, or you can connect it through USB. And it does some really cool pan stuff, and so the quality on it yesterday was amazing on the tank.
Awesome.
So I'm hoping to have that tuned up.
All right, Mandy was here. She's got the hat.
Yep. So Mandy, congrats. And by the way, thank you also any of you guys that did the super chats. Donate to our coffee fund and whatnot. We're going to have a party here.
We really appreciate that.
A live stream party or maybe we'll use it to buy another bottle of barrel for Paul.
For us.
Oh, for us, yes. Yes, for sure. All right, now let's give away this bad boy. The Trident and a 6-month kit. Are you guys ready out there? I hope you guys shared this, and if you haven't shared it yet, even afterwards, please share it out there. Let everybody know about the orange and gray days that are going on. And I'm telling you, quantities are going to fly off the shelves. Product has been moving like crazy before this time.
It's been a very interesting year. We worked hard to make Black Friday happen this year. You know, hats off to our production and operations team, our shipping team, our sales team knocked it out of the park. And now it's a point. Now the opportunity is for you guys. We put as much out there as we could, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
No,
I don't.
I'm telling you, we can't. Even though it's 11 days, we can't restock anybody.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
what they have in stock is what they have.
Everything we could, you know.
Yeah, there's pallets and pallets and pallets and stuff went out. So, all right, give me the name, buddy.
It's Reggie Perryman.
Reggie Harriman. Perryman.
Reggie Perryman.
Reggie Perryman. Speak up. You've got.
This is your Trident.
You've got a short time here. You've got Jim Welsh here.
30 seconds.
You know. Jim Welsh, inventor of the original
Inventor
Amy,
of the Trident.
You know, the alkalinity monitoring, what was it, alkalinity monitoring instrument? Or I can't remember what we named it early on.
HTD.
Yeah, but that was HTD,
Happy
yes.
Tank Day. It's a Happy Tank Day.
Yeah, Happy Tank Day, sure, Paul. What was the name again?
Reggie Perryman.
Reggie, you have 30 more seconds. This is going to be the longest 30 seconds.
Reggie.
Come back, Reggie.
There he is.
Reggie Perryman.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Hopefully he's in the United States of America, Reggie, because we only do this to the U.S. of A.
He probably had fallen asleep. He's like, whoa, what's going on?
Exactly.
You're saying my name?
He's there. He's got his gaming headset on while he's gaming, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Reggie Perryman, congratulations. You get the Neptune Systems Trident along with a 6-month kit.
And if you don't have an Apex,
I was just going to say the same thing.
If you don't have an Apex, now is the time. You have no better reason because you already have the Trident.
Yep.
You can go with the Apex EL for $450 or the full Apex for $720.
Reggie, do you know you won? He's like, I'm here. It's like, well, Reggie, you won $550, well, $600 plus with the reagents value.
Yep.
So I'm going to just reiterate, I am going to be going live tomorrow. Check the Facebook group and the Facebook page, obviously, for when. I think it's going to be around 5 o'clock is what I'm guessing, Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'll give away some more stuff. We'll talk more Apex stuff with you guys. I don't know if it's going to be an hour-long one like this one was. Thank you so much for joining us at this late hour. And boo-ha for the Orange and Gray Days.
Orange and Gray Days.
Have them send an email to sales so we know.
Yeah, for you guys that won, send an email to sales at neptunesystems.com. Paul, you're going to create winners at neptunesystems.com. That's what we're going to have from now on.
Winners?
Yeah, but for now, sales at neptunesystems.com. We love all of our email aliases.
You can Facebook us, Facebook message the page as well. That's fine. We'll work it out.
Absolutely. So until tomorrow, I'll see you guys then. Take care. Enjoy those fish.